my beloved child. The next time you meet them will not feel like an ordinary meeting, because something hidden has already shifted the ground beneath both of you. There is a reason your heart has felt unusually alert, as if it knows a moment is approaching that cannot be undone. When they looked into a place they never intended to search, they uncovered a truth connected to you, and that truth has been echoing inside them ever since. They tried to ignore it at first, convincing themselves it meant nothing, but silence only made it louder. Every memory they share with you has started rearranging itself around what they found, and that is why their energy feels different even from a distance. This is not coincidence, and it is not imagination. Something real has been set in motion, and the next meeting will force it into the open. Listen carefully now, because this did not begin yesterday. Long before you sensed the shift, they were drawn back to a moment, a detail, a trace from the past that refused to stay buried. It appeared harmless at first, almost forgettable, but one small discovery led to another, and soon the pattern became impossible to deny. They realized that what they found connected directly to you, not by chance, but by intention. It challenged everything they believed about how things ended, why distance happened, and who was truly responsible. With every piece falling into place, their confidence cracked, replaced by a quiet fear that the truth might change how they see you forever. They are now standing between denial and acceptance, knowing that once they face you again, pretending will no longer be possible. What makes this moment powerful is not just what they found, but what it awakened inside them. Old emotions they thought were resolved have risen with clarity and weight. Regret has been whispering to them late at night, replaying moments they wish they had handled differently. They are questioning words they never said, actions they delayed, and choices that felt safe at the time but now feel painfully incomplete. The discovery forced them to realize that you were never as replaceable as they tried to believe. This is why the next meeting carries such intensity. They are not just coming to see you. They are coming face to face with a version of themselves they have avoided. There is also something else they did not expect. Along with the truth, they found proof that your impact on their life went far deeper than surface emotions. It showed them how strongly you influenced their decisions, even after separation or silence. This realization shook them, because it meant you were never truly out of their world. You were shaping it quietly from the background. That knowledge has made them restless. They are rehearsing conversations in their mind, imagining your reactions, fearing your questions, and wondering if you already know what they have only just discovered. The tension you feel now is the tension of an unspoken revelation pressing toward daylight. So when the moment finally arrives and your paths cross again, understand this. The shock will not be dramatic words or sudden gestures. The shock will be in their eyes, in the way they hesitate, in the pause before they speak. You will feel it instantly, even if nothing is said out loud. That is the weight of what they found, standing between you. This meeting is not meant to repeat the past. It is meant to expose it, reshape it, and push both of you toward a truth that can no longer stay hidden. What happens next will depend on who is brave enough to speak first, because once this door opens, there is no turning back. The silence before your next encounter is heavier than words, because both of you can feel what is coming. They are walking toward this moment carrying knowledge they never wanted to hold, and it has changed the way they breathe, think, and remember. Every step closer to you feels like stepping closer to a mirror that will not lie. What they discovered has removed their excuses, stripped away the comfort of pretending things ended naturally. Now they know there was a missing piece, and that missing piece has your name written all over it. This is why their behavior has shifted, why distance no longer feels calm but tense. They are preparing themselves for a truth they cannot control once they see you again. There is a quiet battle happening inside them that you cannot see, but you will feel it. One part of them wants to protect their image, to keep the past neatly folded and untouched. Another part is tired of carrying questions that refuse to stay quiet. The discovery forced them to confront something deeply uncomfortable, the realization that you were affected more than they allowed themselves to admit. They saw evidence that their actions, their silence, or their choices created ripples they never acknowledged. This awareness has unsettled them, because it means accountability is unavoidable. When they meet you, every word will feel heavier, every glance more revealing. What makes this even more intense is that they are beginning to understand your perspective in a way they never did before. The truth they found showed them moments where you were patient when you did not have to be. It showed restraint where there could have been anger, and strength where there could have been blame. This realization has humbled them. It has forced them to question the story they told themselves about who was right and who was wrong. Now that story feels incomplete, almost dishonest. They know that when they stand in front of you, that old version of events will collapse under the weight of what they know now. At the same time, they are afraid of your reaction. Not because they think you will be harsh, but because they sense your clarity. They fear you may already be at peace, already moved beyond the questions that are now haunting them. The possibility that you have grown while they were standing still unsettles them deeply. That fear is making them hesitate, reconsider, and replay scenarios in their mind. They are wondering if they should speak first or wait, confess or observe, explain or simply listen. This inner conflict will be visible, even if they try to hide it. So when the meeting finally happens, understand this moment clearly. You are not walking into the unknown. You are stepping into a space where the truth has already arrived ahead of you. They have been living with it, struggling with it, and trying to decide what it means. The shock will come from realizing how deeply this discovery has altered them. This is no longer about the past alone. It is about what the truth demands now. And once this moment passes, neither of you will be able to pretend that things are the same as before. The moment after you meet will linger longer than the meeting itself, because something irreversible will have been felt. They will realize, perhaps for the first time, that knowing the truth is heavier than suspecting it. What they found has already shifted their posture toward you, softening defenses they once relied on. Even if the conversation stays careful, even if words remain measured, the undercurrent will be unmistakable. Their attention will linger on details they once overlooked, your pauses, your tone, the calm in your presence. This is the moment when they understand that discovery does not end with answers. It begins with consequences. Inside them, the truth keeps rearranging priorities they thought were settled. Plans that once felt certain now feel fragile. Beliefs they carried with confidence are suddenly questioned. They are recognizing that the discovery did not just explain the past, it challenged their future. It forced them to admit that some doors were closed too quickly, not because they had to be, but because it was easier. That realization has created a pressure they cannot ignore. They are now weighing what it would mean to be honest, not only with you, but with themselves. There is also a growing awareness that time has changed both of you, but not in the way they expected. They see strength where they assumed softness, clarity where they assumed confusion. This contrast unsettles them, because it highlights how much you have grown without needing their validation. The truth they uncovered showed them that your resilience was always present, even when they failed to recognize it. That understanding brings admiration mixed with regret, a combination that is difficult to carry quietly. It makes them wonder if acknowledging this now is too late, or exactly on time. As this realization deepens, they begin to sense that the next step cannot be passive. Remaining silent would mean betraying the very truth they uncovered. Speaking, however, means risking vulnerability they are not fully prepared for. This tension will show in small ways: a hesitation before responding, a deeper breath before speaking, a look that holds longer than necessary. These are not accidents. These are signs of someone standing at the edge of a decision that will change the direction of their relationship with you, regardless of the outcome. Understand this clearly as you move forward. The shock is not meant to destabilize you. It is meant to reveal where honesty now belongs. What they found has already done its work, dismantling illusions and exposing what was real all along. The next phase will test courage on both sides, not through dramatic gestures, but through quiet truth. Whatever is said next will carry weight, because it will be spoken in the presence of understanding, not confusion. And once that understanding is shared, nothing between you will ever feel uncertain in the same way again. What follows after that understanding is a strange stillness, the kind that arrives only when something real is about to be named. They will notice how the space between you feels different, not tense, not comfortable, but charged with meaning. The truth they found is no longer just theirs to carry. It is pressing outward, asking to be acknowledged. In this stillness, every small gesture becomes louder than words. A nod, a pause, a shift in posture. These are signals of someone standing in front of the one person who now represents clarity they can no longer avoid. They are beginning to realize that the discovery did not accuse you. It exposed them. It revealed where fear guided their choices, where convenience replaced courage. This realization is humbling, because it strips away the story they used to protect themselves. They are seeing that the past did not fall apart on its own. It was shaped by moments of hesitation, by decisions made to avoid discomfort. Accepting this truth is not easy, but it is necessary. The next words they choose will either deepen that honesty or delay it further, and they are aware of the weight of that choice. At the same time, something unexpected is happening within them. Alongside regret, there is relief. The kind of relief that comes from finally understanding why something never truly settled inside. The discovery answered questions they did not know how to ask. It showed them that the connection between you was not unfinished because it lacked meaning, but because it was interrupted. This realization reframes everything. It turns confusion into clarity and distance into context. That shift is powerful, and it is reshaping how they see you in this moment. You may sense this change without fully understanding it. A quiet respect in the way they listen. A sincerity that was missing before. This is not performance. This is someone responding to truth they cannot undo. They are no longer trying to win or defend. They are trying to align their words with what they now know. This is why the meeting feels heavier, deeper, and more deliberate. The truth they found has slowed them down, forcing intention where there was once avoidance. As this moment unfolds, recognize what is truly happening. This is not about reopening wounds. It is about acknowledging what was real and giving it the dignity it deserved all along. The shock is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to clarify the path ahead. Whatever is spoken next will not be casual. It will be shaped by understanding, humility, and the quiet courage to face what was once ignored. From here, every step forward will be conscious, because the truth has already arrived, and it will not allow either of you to move blindly again. What comes next is not a sudden confession, but a careful unraveling of what has been held too tightly for too long. They will start speaking in a way that feels slower, more deliberate, as if each word must pass through truth before reaching you. This is because the discovery taught them something irreversible. Silence did not protect anyone. It only postponed understanding. Now they know that avoiding clarity cost more than facing it ever would have. As they speak, you will sense that this is not about justification. It is about alignment, finally allowing their words to match what they have come to accept. They are also realizing that the truth they found changed how they see you, but even more, how they see themselves in relation to you. They understand now that you were not a chapter that simply ended. You were a turning point that influenced who they became afterward. This realization carries weight, because it means your presence mattered even when you were not physically there. That understanding brings responsibility. It asks them to acknowledge impact, not intention. This is why their tone feels different. It carries awareness instead of defense. At this stage, something subtle but powerful happens. The fear of your response begins to fade, replaced by respect for your strength. They see that you are not waiting to be convinced or persuaded. You are listening from a place of self-possession. That realization steadies them. It shows them that honesty is not a risk here. It is the only language that fits the moment. The truth they uncovered prepared them for this, teaching them that authenticity is not weakness, but clarity. You may notice that they stopped trying to control the outcome. This is a direct result of what they found. It taught them that outcomes shaped by avoidance always return with questions. Now they are willing to let the moment unfold naturally. This surrender is not passive. It is intentional. It signals growth that could not have happened without the discovery. The shock you were promised is not loud or dramatic. It is the quiet realization that this person has changed in a way that cannot be reversed. As this part of the story settles, understand what has truly shifted. The truth is no longer something hidden between you. It is present, acknowledged, and shaping what comes next. Whatever direction this connection takes, it will not be built on confusion or unfinished understanding. The discovery did its work. It cleared the fog. From here forward, every interaction will carry awareness, because once truth is seen and accepted, it does not fade. It becomes the foundation for everything that follows. After everything that has been spoken and everything that has been felt, a new kind of awareness settles in. It is not dramatic, but it is unmistakable. They understand now that the truth they found was not meant to reopen the past, but to correct it. This realization changes how they look at you in this moment. There is less urgency to explain and more intention to understand. They are no longer trying to rewrite history. They are accepting it, fully and without filters. That acceptance is what gives this phase its quiet power. They begin to notice details they once ignored. How composed you are. How your words do not rush. How your presence carries certainty without needing to prove anything. This awareness makes them reflect inwardly, recognizing how much of their earlier behavior was driven by uncertainty rather than clarity. The discovery forced them to mature emotionally, not because they wanted to, but because they had no other honest option. Growth arrived through truth, not comfort. That is why this change feels solid, not temporary. At the same time, they are becoming aware that this moment is not asking for immediate answers. It is asking for alignment. The truth they uncovered does not demand promises or declarations. It demands consistency. They understand that whatever happens next must be built slowly, deliberately, and transparently. This understanding reshapes their expectations. They are no longer focused on outcomes. They are focused on integrity. This shift is rare, and it only happens when someone has truly seen what they were avoiding. You may feel a sense of calm mixed with alertness, because clarity has replaced uncertainty. The shock you were prepared for transforms into recognition. Recognition that this meeting was necessary. Recognition that the truth arrived at the right moment, not too early and not too late. Recognition that both of you are now standing on equal ground, aware of what was hidden and what was real. This balance changes the emotional atmosphere completely. As this part closes, understand the significance of what has unfolded. The truth they found did not end something. It completed something unfinished. It restored context, dignity, and understanding to a story that was paused without explanation. From here, every step will be conscious. Every word will carry intention. And whatever path unfolds next will not be shaped by fear or confusion, but by awareness that has already proven its strength. As time passes after this meeting, something subtle but undeniable begins to take shape. They realize that the truth they found did not belong to a single moment. It was meant to influence everything that follows. The way they think about you now is steadier, clearer, and free from the distortions that once clouded their judgment. They are no longer reacting from old assumptions. They are responding from understanding. This shift changes how they carry your presence within them. It is no longer a source of confusion. It is a point of reference. They begin to recognize how rare this level of clarity actually is. Most connections fade without answers, leaving questions unresolved. What they found spared them that fate. It gave meaning to silence and explanation to distance. This awareness deepens their respect for the connection you shared. It shows them that what existed between you was not fragile. It was simply unfinished. That realization carries both responsibility and gratitude. Responsibility to honor the truth now. Gratitude for finally seeing it before it was too late to matter. There is also a growing calm inside them that you may sense even from afar. It comes from no longer running from their own understanding. The discovery removed the pressure to perform or protect an image. They no longer feel the need to appear unaffected or indifferent. This emotional honesty changes how they move through the world. It softens them, but it also strengthens them. They are more grounded now, more present, and more aware of the impact their choices have on others, especially on you. You may notice that future interactions feel different. More intentional. Less rushed. This is because the truth they found taught them the value of patience. They understand now that clarity cannot be forced, and trust cannot be rushed. Whatever develops next will unfold naturally, without manipulation or fear. This pace is not hesitation. It is respect. Respect for what was shared, what was misunderstood, and what has now been fully seen. As this phase settles, remember this clearly. The shock was never meant to destabilize your life. It was meant to bring alignment. The discovery served its purpose by restoring honesty to a space where assumptions once lived. From here, the story continues not with uncertainty, but with awareness that cannot be undone. Whatever direction this connection takes, it will move forward with intention, because the truth has already shaped the ground beneath both of you. What finally becomes clear is that this story was never about shock for the sake of surprise. It was about timing, precision, and the moment when truth becomes impossible to ignore. They now understand that what they found was waiting for the right point in both of your lives to be revealed. If it had surfaced earlier, it would have been misunderstood. If it had come later, it might have been meaningless. Now, it carries weight because both of you are capable of receiving it without distortion. This realization settles deeply within them, bringing a sense of purpose to everything that unfolded. They also recognize that the truth changed the rhythm of their thoughts about you. Where there was once uncertainty, there is now respect. Where there was distance, there is now perspective. They are no longer asking themselves what might have happened. They are asking what should be honored now. This shift matters, because it removes fantasy and replaces it with intention. It shows growth that is not performative, but earned through understanding. This is why the connection feels grounded rather than emotional. It is rooted in awareness, not reaction. You may feel that the future no longer feels urgent, and that is intentional. The discovery taught both of you that rushing only creates shadows. Clarity requires space to breathe. Whatever unfolds next does not need force or persuasion. It needs presence. This awareness creates a quiet confidence in how you move forward. There is no need to prove anything. The truth has already done the work that words could not. They carry this awareness with them now, not as a burden, but as guidance. It informs how they listen, how they choose, and how they show up. The discovery became a turning point because it demanded responsibility, not regret. It showed them that understanding does not weaken a person. It steadies them. This steadiness is what will define any interaction from this point forward. Understand the final meaning of the shock you were told to expect. It was not meant to unsettle your heart. It was meant to realign it. The truth they found did not end something. It completed a circle that was left open. From here, nothing needs to be forced, explained, or hidden. What remains is clarity, and clarity has a way of guiding the right steps without noise.